Hey guys, welcome to Chaos Unfiltered. I'm your host, Abby, and today we are going to be talking about green flags. This was actually recommended by one of my friends. She was talking about how, we always talk about red flags. The red flags we see in men, red flags in general, right? But no one ever talks about the good. No one ever talks about the green flags. So I want to talk about the green flags today. And I'm really going to focus this one on relationships. I do think green red flags, I mean, you can say that in friendships, you can say that with like family, you can use this across platforms, right? But I feel like for this situation especially, I feel like people use green flags and red flags more for relationships rather than the rest of it. All right. So, let's dive in. I did do some research before I started recording this podcast about green flags just to get other people's perspectives on what they see as a green flag, right? Because for me, my green flags are probably totally different than your green flags. There's probably some similarities for sure, don't get me wrong. But everyone has a type, everyone has a preference, everyone has something they're attracted to, right? And those create those like green flags. Or it doesn't even have to come down to like attractiveness for green flags. It also is just like, I feel like for me, green flags are more like personality based and like how you're presenting yourself in the world. I'm not going to be like, oh, he has abs, green flag. Which I guess people could say that's a green flag if you want to look at it that way. But I feel like that's just like a bonus, right? Like I think green flags are things that like I don't know, like green flags don't have to be non-negotiables by any way. Like a green flag is a good thing, but like just because they don't have it, right? Does that mean they're automatically off the table? You're not talking to them? I don't feel like that's fair, to be honest. I feel like no one's going to meet your perspective or I guess check all your boxes at the same time, right? No one is going to be perfect. It's not a fucking perfect world, so why do you expect and assume someone's going to be perfect for you, right? Like I think in a relationship like you have love and you create love by also loving their insecurities, loving their downfalls, their red flags, like you're never going to find someone that's just a walking green flag. There's no red flags coming around, right? There are some red flags you should like, if you hear it, maybe you should get out the door, run, lock it, triple lock it, deadbolt it, change the lock. But there are like tiny micro red flags, right? That are just okay, like I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think that, but it's not the end of the world, right? Anyways, that was off tangent, and I said we weren't going to talk about red flags that much. I definitely think we were going to a little bit because, I mean, you talk about green flags, you talk about a red flag, I feel like. But I also kind of want to do a podcast about red flags with someone else because I feel like those are so highly talked of that, like, having another person's opinion would be really cool. I also think having another person's opinion on green flags would be really cool too. Like, I'm going to give you my opinions, the little research I did, right? But listening to someone else, seeing if they agree, seeing their green flags, what they think is important, stuff like that in relationship, I feel like that is also something we should talk about. Like, I'm only one person, and my opinion is probably not always the best. But then again, if I bring on someone, it's going to be a friend, so their opinions are probably going to be very similar to mine. But it is what it is, right, guys? So, green flags for me, and I actually did read this one online. One of the big ones I feel like is just like kindness. Like, if you can't be a kind person, like, I don't know, that's just crazy to me. But like, being kind is such a green flag. Being respectful is such a green flag, especially in a man, right? Something I've noticed in my past is that a lot of the times, at least with the men I've dated, that it's like almost frowned upon in their eyes that they're kind or respectful. Like they can be respectful in certain aspects, but like overall, we're respectful to everybody, right? Like it doesn't matter anything. Like just be a kind human being. Like that is such a green flag for me. Like I feel like the world is very negative, very judgmental of other people, especially when you know what they're doing with their life really doesn't impact you. And I just feel like if everyone was just more kind, if everyone just didn't put their 2 cents in all the damn time, the world would be a better fucking place, let's be honest. Anyways, green flag, kindness. I think that's huge. I feel like that is a very big like first impression for me is like, oh, like how are you talking to me? How are you wording things to me? How was the first time you greeted me? Was it respectful? You know, even like the kindness that you can show on like texting, Snapchat, however you're communicating with this person before a relationship, right? Because you're looking at the green flags before you get in a relationship. You're not talking to this person, dating them, and now you're just now suddenly looking for green flags. That would be ridiculous. Another green flag for me is very big, like personality. So I'm just gonna talk about like how I want my significant other's personality to kind of be. So for me, I'm very playful. I'm very goofy. I'm sarcastic as fuck. If you have ever met me in person, you know, like, honestly, sometimes people can't tell when I'm joking and when I'm being serious because my sarcasm is so dry that it is kind of hard to catch up on sometimes. But personality is a huge green flag, depending on the personality, right? Like, if you're a raging fucking prick, I probably wouldn't see that as a green flag. But if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. For me, personality is like being goofy. Like, you have to be able to be goofy with me. Like, and no judgment if this is you, I don't understand the relationships where you guys are like always so serious, always like, I don't know, like I've seen people before and it's like, does anyone here have a personality? Is anyone funny? Is anyone gonna crack a joke anytime soon? Because I'm getting uncomfortable. And when I get uncomfortable, the jokes come out. But being goofy is just a huge green flag for me. Like, and you have to be comfortable with the person be acting that goofiness, stuff like that. I don't know. I feel like for guys, it is easier for them to act goofy. I feel like they just like don't care as much. Like when I act goofy, like you know I'm comfortable around you. I'm definitely more open about it now. Like with age, I realize like I don't give a fuck. So like if you don't like me for me, the fucking door's there. Also it's your loss, but that's just me. But you have to be goofy. Like I feel like every good relationship, you have to be able to joke with each other. You have to be able to take a fucking joke, okay? I think that one is huge and also very hard to find, I feel like sometimes. People nowadays just take everything to heart very easily and I'll say it like sometimes I do too, but I also just feel like you need to be able to take the joke. You need to be able to joke around. Like we don't have to take the world so seriously, right? We're going to tee off from my green flags and talk about a green flag I was reading up on. When I was reading about it, I was seeing that education is a big green flag. Don't get me wrong, I feel like you should be educated. I'm not saying though you need an undergrad, you need a master's, you need a doctorate degree. I don't care about college. I'm going to be honest. Like, and that's probably because I came from a family where I am the first one to go to college. I'm the first one with my master's degree. So, like, I feel like you can definitely make a name for yourself and you can be a part of society, be a good person, and not have a fucking degree. I know plenty of people that just have their high school diploma and they're doing fine. Honestly, some of them make more money than me. And I mean, that's great for them because it's manual labor and you would never catch me doing manual labor. But besides the point, I was reading that a lot of people prefer a man to be educated, a man to be knowledgeable, I guess, in a way. Now, I didn't read far into it of like, do they need to have like a undergrad, a master's, stuff like that? Is that what we're looking for? Or are we just thinking educated as that they're not dumb as fuck, right? Because, hey, we all know those people that graduated high school and we're like, I don't know how you graduated. Like, do you understand what's coming out of your mouth right now? Because what? But for me, if I was looking at this as a green flag, it's not about having an undergraduate, having a master's degree, anything like that. It's just about being educated and being knowledgeable. I am very knowledgeable in what I do, but you put me on street smarts. I'm not dumb, but I'm not smart either, okay? Like, I'm still the person that's like, I don't know which way is left and right. Put me in a sketchy neighborhood, I'm probably gonna think it's safe. The people who know about that one. But yeah, for me, I don't feel like education is the biggest deal. Like, don't get me wrong, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like, some people feel like they cannot not be with a man who has a diploma of some sorts of from college, you know? And that's great. Good for you. Like, if that's your standard, that's your standard. But I also like when you're thinking about green flags, when you're thinking even about red flags, right? Like, why? Can you justify it? Why is it such a big deal? Is it because they're going to make more money? Because I'm going to tell you right now, like I just said, I know people who don't have a college degree and they make more money than me. Now, yes, it's grosser. They're probably getting dirty. But if you don't care about that shit, which if all you care about is money, I don't feel like you would care about that shit. I don't know. You can find a man who makes good money without being college educated. Another one I saw was being family oriented. And I can totally get behind this. I can totally see like why family oriented would be a good thing. I also just like, I don't know, it's hard for me. I did come from a really great family. Like, you know, I don't talk about my family a lot because I came from such a good childhood. But I also feel like even if you're not family oriented, maybe it's because, your family fucking sucks, maybe. And if that's the case, why are we judging? Like, again, that's not a green flag for me to be family oriented. I think maybe a different way to look at it for me is like kind of more knowing what you want out of life, right? And you'll understand why I'm saying like that's family oriented for me in a second. So for me, a big thing is knowing what you want out of your life, knowing what you want to do with your life. And you don't have to have everything fucking planned out. I'm not asking anybody to do that. Like, do I think I know what I want to do? Yes. Is that gonna happen? Maybe not. I mean, 3 years ago, I wanted to be a physical therapist and realized I fucking suck at biology and had to switch up my whole career path. So, like, things fucking happen, things change. So, what I mean by knowing what you want to do with your life is more okay, do you know your next step in your career? If there is a next step, maybe you're already there, depending on your age, right? I mean, honestly, really big green flag, kind of off a topic on this part. Do you have a 401k? It's not gonna make it or break it if you don't, but if you have 401k, then I know you're thinking long term, right? But again, from my past experience with family oriented stuff like that, is just like, do you want to have kids? That is a big make it or break it question, especially with my age of like, do you want to have kids? Are you ready to have kids? Because I've met a lot of people around my age, a lot of men. And it's like, no, I'm still like okay with like fucking off all of this shit. And I'm like, I'm young, but also I think it's really important to discuss those things because I don't want to waste anyone's time. So if I know you don't want kids, then I'm out the door because that's a non-negotiable for me. I think there are green flags that are almost non-negotiables at the same time, and that is a big non-negotiable for me. You have to want to have kids. And the people are like, "Oh, well, I don't think so, but that could change." I'll still walk out the door because I don't want it to be a situation where it's like, "Oh, I'm in love 3 years down the road. Hey, I want to have a kid." And they're like, "Oh, no, I still don't want to have a kid." No, that would suck. That would suck for me. I could not imagine something like that. But again, with my age, like that's something like I have to talk about. Like I'm still young, but for women it is different. And the women who are watching understand what I'm saying. The men probably, some of them do too, but I don't think they think about it as much. They don't think about the complications with having a pregnancy when you're older because, you know, look, their job's pretty easy. They don't got to carry the kid for 9 months. And their shit works their whole fucking life. And that's not how it is for women, right? And that's something I really learned from my past relationship was like, if they can't talk about those things, if they get like stressed out, nervous, like that's not a good thing. I mean, that's a red flag for me. And I really do look for the green flag of like, can you talk about the future? Can you talk about do you want kids, marriage? I don't know why. Marriage is such a scary topic to a lot of men. Now, maybe it's just the men I've encountered. I don't know. But like, again, I'm still young, but I want to be married, not like soonish, but like not 10 years down the road either, right? Like, I just don't understand why they can't talk about marriage or like almost the idea of marriage is scary to them. A big green flag is being able to talk about marriage, is to be able to talk about like, yes, I want to get married, right? I definitely see a lot of times, and I mean in dating apps too. I mean, that was what the last episode was about. It's just almost like, how do you not know what you want at this age? You don't know if you want to be married. You don't know when you want to have kids. Like, living life day to day is great, but you should have a plan. Because if you're not working towards anything, what the fuck are you doing? So for me, family oriented is more the idea of can you talk about the future? Can you talk about the future with me? If you can do those things, big green flag. Uh, and especially if they bring up that topic too. Like, I don't know, something about that just like, it just feels good to not be the one that always has to bring it up. And that's probably past relationship trauma, right? Like, I'm always the one that was bringing it up, stuff like that. So if someone else is bringing it up and like talking about it, and it has to be the right person, right? Like, don't get me wrong. I've had people in the past that's like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah," and I'm like, not with you, buddy, not with you. But big picture for me is green flags are like a big overview. There's room for not improvement, but like, I don't know, I can be okay if not all of my green flags are met, if not all of the boxes are checked. However the fuck you want to word it, right? There's so many different lingo for this. The non-negotiables, stuff like that. Like, and I feel like if it's a non-negotiable, it's almost not a green flag. Like that's just it is what I just call it. It's a non-negotiable. A green flag is like, ooh, yes, this is an added bonus, but it's okay if they don't have it. Sometimes, right? Because I literally just talked about how like if they weren't able to talk about family and stuff like that, like I'm probably out the door. So it really just depends on how you look at it. Other green flags for me, and I think I read this too, is like in lack of better words, because I can't think of the better words right now, is like a man being a man. Like, I know there's this whole thing, feminism, yeah, great, but it's also really good to feel that someone wants to take care of you. And I can say that's probably the same way that men feel too, like, but in a different way. Like, I don't know, it is a green flag that someone would want to take care of you, or they not feel like they need to take care of you too, though, right? Like that's just like almost how they're showing their love, stuff like that. A really big green flag. All right, I almost forgot this one. Crazy. If a man can express his feelings, huge green flag. I've been in so many relationships where a man cannot express their feelings and all they fucking do is gaslight you. And I know I've said it before, my picker has been broken in the past. So I don't know. I think I'm doing pretty well right now though, guys. Just saying. But if a man can express his feelings, how he's feeling about you, how he's feeling about situations, if he's able to get vulnerable, my heart will melt. Like that is so important to me because I don't know, they always have this idea that's like having feelings, stuff like that is such a like feminine thing to do. And it's like, but we want to see that, right? We want to see that you have emotion. You're not just, you know, meh about the whole world and never show any emotion about anything because that's crazy. You should have emotion. You have feelings. Show them. It's okay to show your feelings. I'm not asking you to cry in public, but in the privacy of a home or over the phone, if you want to cry, oh, I wouldn't say it's a green flag, but I don't know. I feel like that would make me feel good about myself that you feel safe doing that. Anyways, I feel like that was a little off topic. It's still a green flag though, right? And there are a ton of other green flags. And honestly, it'd be really cool to get like a man's opinion on this and what they think are green flags in women, right? Or even like me and a friend talking about what we think men's green flags are, because that could be really fucking funny too. And there are a shit ton more green flags that we could probably talk about because everyone's opinions is different about what they think is a green flag, right? Like maybe the green flag is it being a country boy. Green flag is being into cars. You can make anything a green flag. Anything. Maybe like the type of shoes they wear. Green flag. Like that's how people talk about it nowadays. And hey, don't get me wrong. I'll do the same thing. I'll be like, oh, green flag. I don't feel like I do it as much though. I feel like I don't know. I am trying to like express my feelings in a better way and I'm like, oh, I like when you did this. Instead of just saying green flag. So like, okay, cool. Don't really understand what that means, but okay. I also think the same thing can be said about red flags, right? I'm not gonna go diving straight into red flags now, but anything can be a red flag. You can be like, oh, the way you tied your shoes because you tie them bunny style, red flag. And it's like, is it that deep? And that's the same thing with the green flags too, though. Is like, is it that deep? There are, I feel like, bonuses of a person, right? Like, this makes it even better. It's like the cherry on top. But I feel like a green flag is just things that you would want to see in your partner. Now, again, I don't think green flags should be non negotiables. There's probably are some green flags that are non negotiables. But when I think about the terminology and how I think about green flags, it's like, it's an added bonus. The non negotiables are things, hey, if you don't check these off my checklist, we're done so. But there's that little category below, it's like extra bonus points, extra credit if they do this, that, you know, if they have abs, I know that's a big thing. If they're college educated, maybe that's like a little bonus point. I don't know. I'm just naming off some big ones I'm thinking of right now. I got nothing, guys. So again, that's how I view green flags. Obviously, people probably view that differently too. But let me know too, like, what are some of your green flags? And maybe think about that too of like, what are you looking for in a relationship? What green flags do you look for? Because we definitely do look at the negatives of that, of like, oh, well, they don't go here, they don't do this. So, red flag, we're done. It's perfectly okay to have a type. It's perfectly fine. Like, everyone has a type. Do not get me wrong. I have a type. I know I do. But are you willing to stray away from your type maybe just a little bit for the right person? Because if they are the right person, you would be. And also, why are we so strict on our type? Like, why do they have to be over 6 foot, right? And I'm calling myself out there because, look, I've said it before the love of my life would never be 5'10. But, like, I also say it as a joke. But why are there so strict guidelines? Like, oh, you're on dating app. They're 5'10", swipe right. Oh, 6'1", automatic. Wait, swipe right, I think is the good thing. I don't know, guys. I haven't been on dating apps in over like a year. Anyways, you swipe left, right? Bad. They're under 5'10". Oh, 6'2", swiping right. Match. Like, why do those things, why are they such a big deal? Height, hair color, eye color. your physique to a point, like, I totally understand not wanting to be with someone that's not taking care of themselves, but just because they're not ripped, looking like they're taking steroids, got an 8-pack, doesn't mean shit. I think dating apps, as I talked about last week, they've just made us very judgmental. I don't think I said that in my last podcast, but with talking about green flags, I think that we have been very judgmental. I said that earlier in this podcast too. So I kind of want to say, like, take a step back from being extra judgmental. Think about those core things that are very important to you and add in those green flags, those extra bonus points if they have it. And maybe there are some green flags that are non negotiables, but your list shouldn't be 16 fucking pages long of they have to have all of this to meet the criteria. Like, at that point, you got to use AI to build your man because you're never going to find them. So think about what's really important. Like I said, think about what you're willing to be okay with and what you are like, absolutely not. For me, absolutely not. Kids, wanting to be married, not having the fucking plan about those things. Like, that is my biggest goal in life, is to have kids and be married. So if that's not a goal in your life, I know we're not going to work out. So let me know some of your guys' green flags down below, and I definitely will have another one where I bring someone on and we talk about their green flags and we kind of go back and forth, right? And I'll talk about red flags as well because I feel like red flags are more of a talked about topic. I could probably go on about red flags a lot longer than I could green flags because I also just don't think about the green flags. I don't, I know my green flags, but I don't know. I guess red flags are just funnier to talk about. Who knows? Right. But again, thanks so much for listening, guys. I hope you tune in to the next podcast. Bye.